Thanks very much, Mark, for those kind words, and I want to thank the Iranian American Society of Texas for bringing us all together today and for their work and support here. You know, it's been more than 2 years since people on this stage and a whole lot of people who are not on this stage have been working and trying to achieve safety and freedom for the members of MEK living in Iraq, initially at Camp Ashraf, and now in that camp that can only with bitter irony be called Camp Liberty. As you heard, we did manage to achieve a legal victory of sorts by getting MEK delisted. But the political victory has eluded us, and we need to work harder than ever to achieve it. And if we needed any proof of that, on February 9, those 7 people joined the list of those martyred at the hands of the Iraqis, which already included more than 45 killed in 2 separate attacks by the Iraqi military. Now, obviously, the perpetrators of this most recent attack as well were acting at the behest of the Iraqi government. I don't have any hesitation as a judge in saying that. The Iraqis were very quick to point out that a group that called itself Hezbollah in Iraq had taken responsibility for the attack. Well, as you all know, Hezbollah is simply a stalking horse for the Iranian government, so this organization could just as well have been called Iran in Iraq. And of course, the attack itself could not have occurred without active Iraqi cooperation. And if we needed any assurance of that, we could get it from being aware that the commander of the forces who were supposed to provide security at Camp Liberty was the commander of the forces who last time attacked the MEK in Camp Ashraf. That commander was appointed to provide security. And when we pointed out to our own State Department that this was an obscenity to put this man in charge of security, we were told we can't really say anything because Iraq is a sovereign country. So unfortunately, the moral responsibility lies not only with the United Nations, but with our own government as well. I think it's important to recall the history that Mayor Giuliani dwelled on for a substantial part of his remarks, because that history helps explain how we got here. And I want to bring out just a few details that he did not get to. In 2003, when we came upon the MEK in Camp Ashraf, they already believed in the kind of Iran that they believe in today. They didn't need any conversion on that score. They were armed, as you heard, to defend themselves, and you heard that they got a guarantee. But it wasn't simply an oral guarantee. This isn't a matter of somebody having said something that somebody interpreted or misinterpreted. They got a written guarantee signed by a United States general guaranteeing that they would be treated as protected persons under the 4th Geneva Conventions. Those words have meaning, folks. And the word of the United States, the word of the United States military, is supposed to have meaning. And they got it in writing, and that piece of paper still exists. We have copies. In addition, each of those residents was interviewed by the FBI. The FBI sent teams of people in to interview them, to make sure that none of them were dangerous. And of course, the FBI found that none of them were. And then each of them was issued an identity card with his picture on it and a telephone number to call American forces in case there was trouble. Regrettably, though, as you heard, they were attacked on 2 occasions. Too bad those cards weren't bulletproof. How did all this happen? Well, the MEK unjustifiably was placed on a list of foreign terrorist organizations. How did that happen? When did it happen? It happened in the 90s, apparently in an attempt to open a dialogue with the mullahs. It was believed that if this organization that they opposed was classified as a terrorist organization, then they would be willing to talk to us. So they were put on the list as an accommodation under the Clinton administration. Well, that worked, didn't it? Didn't work at all. And I regret to say that in the administration that I served in, they were kept on that list. Why? Out of fear that if they were taken off, the Iranian government would get so upset they might do things like send IEDs, improvised explosive devices, into Iraq that would be used to kill American troops. Well, of course, they did that anyway. So that didn't work. In 2007 and in 2009, the Iraqis attacked them in Ashraf. Interestingly, those attacks coincided with times that the then U.S. Defense Secretary, Robert Gates, was in country. It could not have been a more calculated slap in the face of the United States than to attack at that time. There's no escaping the truth. The United States simply washed its hands of attacks that were perpetrated using American-provided equipment. There are videos of people being run over with American-provided vehicles. And did the Iraqis think, as Ambassador Kobler at one point said, that they were somehow in danger, that there was a danger from these people? If you take a look at the video, I'm sure you've all seen it, but take a look at the video of the attack in 2009. The Iraqis who are firing, the Iraqi troops who are firing at the MEK aren't wearing helmets. They're not wearing bulletproof vests. They know the people they're dealing with aren't dangerous. It was done in cold blood, and there's video proof of it. And then Iraq, acting at the behest of Iran, insisted that Ashraf be closed. And people moved. And so we were told by Ambassador Kobler, Mayor Giuliani and I, who sat with him, that if only they moved to Camp Liberty, then it would be easier to get them out of the country. And in fact, a United States diplomat who was working on this file told us the same thing. He told us, oh, they're much safer, closer to Baghdad. They're near the airport, so they can be gotten out quickly if there's a problem. If there's a problem? If there's a problem? What is the State Department's definition of a problem? It is about time, it is long since past time, to abandon the polite euphemisms of diplomacy, to abandon the reaction of the sort that we got from the State Department, which said we take this very seriously and we're studying it. It's time to stop taking it seriously the way they do and studying it. It's time to start taking, you want to take something seriously? How about taking seriously the written promise that we made to those people that they would be protected? How about taking seriously the promise that we made to them when they moved to Camp Liberty that they would be protected? How about taking seriously our own ideals? How about taking seriously the fact that they stand for a democratic, non-nuclear, law-respecting Iran? How about taking that seriously? If the U.S. State Department wants to take something seriously, they can take all of those things seriously and send what we have a surfeit of, which is airplanes, to the airport that's right near Camp Liberty. Pick those people up and get them here. It is time to stop taking seriously the kinds of things that the State Department claims to take seriously and start taking seriously what the United States believes in, which is a free country where people have the right to choose their own destiny. And the only way we're going to bring that about is by cooperating with and strengthening the hand of people who stand for what MEK stands for, and bringing them here and doing it. Thank you very much.